On a crisp December morning, deep beneath the crashing waves, lay a serene coral valley. In his cozy underwater home, Octie sat in his comfy living room, next to his bright, jolly Christmas tree, decorated with colorful shells, shimmering coral, sleepy starfish, and shiny bubbles. Yet something felt incomplete. The season of cheer and giving was here, and Octie longed to do something truly special for Christmas. All 8 tentacles tapping impatiently against the floor, pondering. A good Christmas idea must be meaningful and from the heart, he murmured to himself, but what would that be? Unable to sit with this newfound itch, Octie decided to go explore. He put on his warm Christmas hat, wrapped his red and white scarf around his neck, and headed out. Octie glided gracefully through the deep coral valley, his tentacles brushing against swaying sea fans and glimmering anemones that seemed to dance in his wake. The water grew lighter as he ascended, the gentle sun rays peeking through the golden streaks. With a final burst of energy, he breached the surface. The gentle waves carried him to the shore, where the snowy sand shimmered like powdered silver beneath his weightless movements. Perhaps the crisp shore air and snowy sights would spark some inspiration. Not far from his starting point, Octie came upon a cheerful snowman standing tall by the path. The snowman had a round belly, a carrot nose, and a hat slightly askew. He smiled warmly at Octie, though how snowmen smiled remained a delightful mystery. "Good morning," the snowman greeted in a jolly voice. "And what brings you out from the sea on this frosty day, my friend?" Octie waved a tentacle. "Good morning to you. I've got a fire burning to find a thoughtful and special Christmas idea. Do you perhaps have an extinguishing suggestion?" The snowman rubbed his chin thoughtfully, the tiny twigs of his fingers scratching against his frosty face. I see," he said. "Christmas is indeed the time for something meaningful. What if you made something with your very own tentacles? A handmade ornament, perhaps?" In that moment, Octie practically had a light bulb appear above his head. What a wonderful idea! The snowman chuckled. "Indeed, and I'd be delighted to help you get started. Would you accept either this shiny button from my coat or a snowflake preserved magically by yours truly?" Octie gently accepts the snowflake, its surface cool, smooth, and shining with a heart-warming, festive sparkle. What a special gesture, Octie thought. He beamed at the snowman, his heart already warming with possibilities. "Thank you so much. This will be the perfect beginning." The snowman nodded. "I'm glad to help. Now go, and may your journey be full of inspiration." Octie waved goodbye and turned to continue along the path, clutching the snowflake tightly. The snow crunched softly beneath him as he imagined what other treasures and ideas lay ahead. And so, with a heart brimming with excitement, Octie's adventure began. As Octie found that he had ventured into the forest, the towering trees seemed to welcome him, their branches bowing gently under the weight of fresh snow. The world felt magical, as if the forest itself was holding its breath in anticipation of Christmas. Suddenly, a soft jingling sound broke the quiet. Octie paused, his tentacles twitching in curiosity. He looked behind him. Nothing here. But oh my, how far he had come. When he turned his head back to the path in front of him, he spotted the source of the bell. There stood a reindeer, with a beautiful bell hanging from its neck. It must be one of Santa's hard-working reindeer crew. There were sparkling fairy lights tangled in its majestic antlers. The lights glimmered like tiny stars, but the reindeer was on high alert, as if it was startled. "Hello there," Octie called out, hurrying closer. "Do you need help?" The reindeer looked up, relief washing over his face. "Oh, thank goodness. I didn't see these lights hanging low and trotted right into them. I've been trying to untangle myself, but it's no use with hooves." Octie chuckled softly. "You're lucky I came along. I've got 8 helping hands." With a swirl of motion, Octie's tentacles worked quickly, untangling the lights and freeing the reindeer. The lights fell away in a shimmering heap. The reindeer shook his head, sending a few snowflakes scattering. "Thank you," the reindeer said, his bell jingles as he nodded gratefully. "I don't think I would have escaped that mess without you." Octie smiled. "Happy to help. My name is Octie. I'm on a special Christmas mission, you see. I've committed to creating a handmade ornament this Christmas, and I'm looking to gather unique and meaningful things along the way." The reindeer's ears perked up and a thoughtful expression crossed his face. That sounds like a truly meaningful mission. I'd love to help you out as a way to thank you for getting me out of that sticky situation. Would you like my bell? There are many other reindeer guiding the sleigh with bells. Mine won't be missed. It's been with me through countless sleigh rides and carries the sound of holiday cheer wherever it goes. He then looked down and nudged the untangled fairy lights with his nose. Their glow illuminating the frost on his fur. Or perhaps these lights, though they caused me some trouble out of my own clumsiness, they're enchanted to shine brighter as Christmas approaches, filling the air with warmth and magic. Which would you like? Octie carefully took the fairy lights from the reindeer, its shimmer carrying the excitement of their encounter. Holding it close, Octie felt a surge of inspiration and gratitude. "Thank you," Octie said earnestly, his voice brimming with excitement. "This will be such an important part of my ornament. It already feels magical." The reindeer gave a hearty laugh. "You're quite welcome, little friend. Carry it proudly. May it guide your way to even grander discoveries." As Octie turned to leave, the reindeer raised his voice over the snowy stillness. "Beware, though, this forest has its surprises of its own. Keep your wits about you." Octie waved a tentacle in farewell, and the air alive with Christmas joy. He realized that though he has 8 tentacles, he should probably find a better way to store them for the duration of his adventure. He took some flexible bark lined with moss to pillow the bottom and shaped big leaves into a little plush holder for his delicate collectives, crafting reinforcement and straps from frosty vines. With his satchel and high hopes, he strutted while the forest grew quieter down the path, his thoughts buzzing. Each treasure he gathered felt like a piece of a bigger story, and the ornament in his mind began to take shape. With a renewed sense of purpose and another trinket safely tucked away, Octie strode on, eager to see what surprises awaited him next. The snowy path wound its way to the base of the mountains, where a dazzling sight came into view. Tinkling lights adorned a grand workshop, nestled snugly against the rocky slopes. Smoke puffed merrily from its cobblestone chimney, and the faint sound of jingle bells and cheerful humming drifted through the frosty air. Octie's eyes widened in amazement as he approached the vibrant scene. The workshop doors, carved from oak and painted a festive red, swung open just as he reached them, revealing a bustling hive of activity. Inside, 3 elves were hard at work, their movements a lively dance of green, red, and white. On the left, a lady elf with sparkling eyes and pointy ears effortlessly ties a golden bow onto a large red present, her nimble fingers moving with practiced precision. In the middle, a male elf sorting gifts into neat piles, his sturdy hands deftly arranging packages of all shapes and sizes. On the right, a second lady elf is working over the halted conveyor, her paintbrush adding delicate details to a dainty red box. Her face indicated pure concentration as she perfected her design. The workshop buzzed with cheerful energy as the Christmas carols played. The elves' vibrant personalities reflected in every joyful task that they undertook. The 3 stopped in unison when they noticed Octie, their faces lighting up like Christmas trees. "Well, look at this," the male elf exclaimed, emerging from behind the belt. "A visitor, and not just any visitor, a charming little octopus. What brings you here, friend?" asked the first elf, still holding a ribbon in her one hand and a sparkling bow in the other. Octie, slightly bashful under their lively gazes, waved a tentacle. "Hello, I'm on a Christmas mission, trying to create a handmade ornament. I've been gathering special trinkets to make it truly unique." At this, all three elves gasped in delight. "A handmade ornament?" the second elf declared, clapping her hands, sending the tiny paintbrush skittering across the floor. "Now that's the kind of project we elves can get behind." "Absolutely," said the first elf. "We have just the thing for you." "Thingamabobs," the male elf added, pulling out a drawer labeled whatchamacallits and thingamabobs. "Thingamabobs?" Octie asked, tilting his head. The first elf grinned and held up a vibrant red bow. "A shiny bow, perfect for adding a touch of elegance to your ornament." "And this," chimed the second elf, offering a peppermint-striped candy cane from the drawer. "It's sweet, it's festive, and it's minty." The male elf nodded sagely. "Both are excellent choices, but you'll have to decide which one will make your ornament sparkle brightest." As Octie admired the two trinkets, his heart racing with the excitement, the elves' kindness and energy filled the workshop with magic, and he could not wait to choose. The three elves watched with eager anticipation as Octie gently took the candy cane from their hands. It felt magical to the touch. The minty scent radiated the elves' Christmas spirit. Octie's tentacles curled tightly around the treasure. "Thank you so much. This will take my ornament to the next level," he said, his voice filled with gratitude. The first bow-tying elf smiled brightly. "We're so glad to help. Every ornament needs a touch of Christmas magic." The elf leaned closer and whispered, "By the way, if you're looking for more Christmas magic, Santa is staying just over the other side of the mountains. He's the master of Christmas spirit. You should pay him a visit." The second elf nodded enthusiastically, her eyes twinkling. "Oh, absolutely. Santa might just have the perfect final touch for your ornament. But please be careful on your journey. The mountains can be a dangerous place." How exciting! The thought of meeting Santa filled Octie with joy and wonder, though he was a bit nervous, seeing as both the reindeer and the elves have now warned him. But his Christmas spirit will overcome the fear. Over the mountains? What an incredible adventure that will be. I promise to stay alert and keep safe. Thank you so much for pointing me in the right direction, and for this amazing gift. The elves gathered by the door to see him off, their cheerful waves and jingling laughter filling the air as Octie set off again. As the workshop's warm glow faded into the distance, Octie paused at the base of the snowy mountains. His path ahead was steep, the peaks dusted with a dazzling frost, but his heart was light. With the candy cane tucked safely in his collection, Octie felt more inspired than ever to continue his journey. And so, with renewed determination and the laughter of the elves still echoing in his mind, Octie prepared for the next chapter of his adventure, the hike towards Santa's home. With his heart brimming with hope and the treasures tucked safely in his satchel, Octie began his journey further up the winding path that led around the mountains. The snow shimmered, visibly icy and getting slippery. A crisp wind whispered through the pines, filling the air with a sense of adventure. As he rounded a bend, however, the peaceful scene took a peculiar turn. Weathered signs jutted out of the snow on either side of the path. "Turn back," warned one, and "Beware," cried another. Octie hesitated, but remembering the warnings, but curiosity and determination propelled him forward. As the mountain path dipped into the mouth of a shadowy cave, the air grew still. An eerie silence replaced the gentle rustle of the wind. The snow seemed darker here, as though it carried secrets of its own. At least for a moment, Octie was sheltered from the constant snowfall. Suddenly, from behind a dark tree, Standing sentinel at the cave's entrance, a figure stepped into view. "What do you think you're doing on my mountain?" the Grinch demanded, his voice a low growl, and his yellow eyes narrowed. Octie froze in fear for a moment, but summoned his courage. "Good day to you, sir," he began politely. "I'm on a Christmas journey, gathering special trinkets for—" The Grinch interrupted with a dramatic wave of his long green fingers. "I'll stop you there, kid. I've had enough of this holly-jolly Christmas nonsense." The Grinch raised his arms, and with a swirl of green mist, he cursed Octie's trinkets. Octie gasped as his satchel glowed briefly and then dimmed. He opened it to find all his treasures had turned an eerie shade of green. Even the sparkles had dimmed. "Oh no!" Octie exclaimed softly, his tentacles drooping. But as the initial disappointment subsided, his Christmas cheer remained steadfast. Instead of anger, his heart filled with compassion and empathy. "Well," Octie said gently, "I can see you're not having the merriest of seasons. Would you accept one of my green treasures as a gift? It matches your fur now." He reached into his satchel and carefully selected a trinket to offer the Grinch. But which will he give? Octie held out the minty candy cane, his eyes full of hope. "Here, take this, a gift from me to you. Not even in the spirit of Christmas. Just take it as a good luck for the new year." The Grinch froze, his scowl faltering for just a moment as he stared at the gift. Slowly, his fingers reached out, plucking the trinket from Octie's tentacle. He turned it over in his hands, the corners of his mouth twitching uncertainly. "Well," the Grinch said gruffly, "I suppose I may have been a bit dramatic." With a flourish of his own magic, he added a green ribbon to the candy cane. Then, with an exaggerated sigh, he returned it to Octie. "There, my contribution to your precious ornament," he muttered through the tiniest glimmer of warmth flickering in his eyes. Octie wiggled his tentacles with gratitude. "Thank you, Mr. Grinch. This is the most special touch I could have asked for." But before turning to leave, Octie paused, his gaze softening. He felt bad to leave him empty-handed and alone. From around his neck, he untied his red and white scarf, the one that had kept him warm throughout his journey. "Here," he said, gently offering it to the Grinch. "A little something to keep you and that big attitude cozy this Christmas." The Grinch touched the scarf, its warmth and softness a stark contrast to the cold mountain air. He rolled his eyes and begrudgingly draped it around his neck. "Now get out of here," he scolded. But despite that, his expression softened and a gentle smile crossed his face. As Octie turned to continue his journey, he could hear a faint mutter behind him. "Merry Christmas," or whatever. With his satchel and heart once again full, Octie set his sights on the peak, ready for the final leg of his adventure to find Santa. At last, Octie crested the final ridge, and his breath caught at the enchanting scene that lay before him. Nestled at the base of a hill dusted with glistening snow was an inviting cabin. A puff of smoke rose from the chimney, curling lazily into the sky, carrying the scent of cinnamon and pine. A path lined with lanterns wound its way around a candy cane-fenced paddock to the welcoming front door. It was a picture of serenity, radiating warmth and magic amidst this icy landscape. This, Octie realized, must be Santa's personal hideaway, a place where even the busiest man at this time could find a moment to take rest. It felt magical in its simplicity, like a secret piece of Christmas hidden just for him to discover. Octie hoped this would not be intrusive, but with a tentative knock on the oak door, Octie waited. The chilly air nipping at his tentacles, the door opened, with a whoosh of sparkles to reveal Santa himself. He sat in a comfy armchair, His rosy cheeks glowed in the firelight, and his eyes crinkled with delight as he took in the sight of the little octopus. "Ho, ho, ho, who do we have here?" Santa's voice was warm and rich, like the feeling of wrapping yourself in a thick blanket on a snowy night. Octie was relieved. Santa was not bothered by his uninvited visit. "Hello, Santa," Octie began, still nervous but beyond excited. "I've traveled far and wide, gathering special treasures to create the perfect handmade ornament. But I need your help to finish it, please, Santa." He chuckled, waving Octie into the cozy cabin. A crackling fire danced, and the Christmas charm filled the room. A plate of cookies sat on a small table next to a mug of warm milk. "Well then, let's have a look," Santa said. Octie opened his satchel, displaying the treasures he had collected. The snowflake, the fairy lights, the candy cane, and the green ribbon that the Grinch contributed. Each item shimmered with its own special magic, telling the story of the kindness and cheer Octie had encountered along the way. "This is truly remarkable, Octie," Santa said warmly, his voice rich with approval. "You've poured so much heart and spirit into collecting these. I know just what it needs to truly complete it." Reaching into his deep red coat, Santa withdrew a spool of golden thread. It shimmered like sunlight dancing on freshly fallen snow, its radiance warm and magical. With practiced care, Santa cut a golden strand, the perfect size for the ornament to hang when it's finished. "There," Santa said, handing it to Octie. "Now it'll be ready to hang anywhere your heart desires. Let this golden thread remind you of the connections you've made and the joy you've brought to others." Octie was overwhelmed with delight as he held the memories in his hand. "Thank you, Santa," he said, his voice filled with awe. "This is perfect. The elves were right to direct me here. This is so special." Santa chuckled softly. "Those naughty elves are brighter than you would think. The magic of Christmas is in the journey, Octie. You've discovered that in every step you've taken. Now go and share this journey with others." With a grateful heart, Octie bid farewell to Santa, ready to carry the spirit of Christmas with him wherever he went. Octie swam back home. The journey through the ocean felt lighter this time, as if the waves themselves carried him faster towards his cozy underwater house. His little home awaited, glowing warmly in the soft blue depths. As Octie stepped into his workshop, his heart swelled with excitement. He carefully set the satchel down on his workbench, glancing at the trinkets he had collected, each one holding a story, a memory, and a touch of Christmas magic. The snowflake shimmered like a warm smile, the fairy lights sparkled softly with gratitude, the candy cane brought a pop of cheerful color, and the green ribbon from the Grinch added a quirky charm, creating a more unique and special piece than Octie could have ever imagined. Finally, there was the golden thread, gleaming with the promise of tying it all together. Octie was filled with anticipation, his mind already buzzing with the ideas of how he'd bring the ornament to life. "What a journey it's been," he mused aloud, with a joyful chuckle. He looked out through his window at the sparkling sea, feeling a deep sense of gratitude for every moment of his adventure. He now gets to spend Christmas Eve crafting a special keepsake that will be kept in Octie's family for generations. But tonight he will allow himself to revel in the excitement of what was to come. A magical ornament born from friendship, kindness, and the spirit of Christmas. Octie drifted off to sleep, dreaming of a Christmas ornament like no other. A reminder that the true magic of the season lies in the love we share and the memories that we make along the way.